Welcome back, viewers, again from the previous section where we spoke about paper crafts and we spoke about origami and kirigami and paper folding techniques. Now, and the next focal point is on textiles. Now, the question says, explain the word textiles. Textile is a term that comprises everything that has to do with fabrics, yarns, and fibers for making fabrics. Hence, textiles designing is the art of converting fibers into yarns and weaving fibers to form fabrics and also decorating fabrics. And decorating fabrics. So that is it. Now we have the next question, which says differentiate between fibers, yarns, and fabrics. Fibers are the basic units of textiles that we spin to form yarns or threads, whereas yarns are strands that are produced after spinning fibers, and fabrics are complex or flexible complex materials that we produce after weaving two sets of yarns known as weft yarns and warp yarns. Now, the next question says, identify and explain some textiles decoration methods. Textiles decoration methods. One of the method of decorating fabrics or textile is printing, which is the art of transferring design from one surface onto a fabric. They have embroidery, is the art of using threads to sew images on fabrics to resemble an original picture. They have weaving, the art of interlacing weft and warp yarns to form a fabric. Then we also have dyeing, which is the art of changing the color of a fabric. So these are some of the methods of decorating fabric. We also have another method of decorating fabric we call applique, which is the art of cutting out template designs from a fabric and sewing them onto a large background fabric. That is applique. Then we also have felting. Felting is the art of mating fibers together to form texture or textures or patterns for that matter. Then we have what we call quilting. Quilting is the art of stitching layers of fabrics and padding it to create textured patterns. Then we have beading and sequins, which is the art of attaching beads, sequins, or other embellishments onto a fabric. Then we have another one which says that we have the next question which says identify and explain some textiles decoration techniques. We have block printing, which is the art of dipping carved wood or linoleum blocks into a dye or ink and stamping the patterns onto a fabric. Then we also have another technique we call screen printing. Textile decoration technique we call screen printing, which is the art of transferring designs onto a silk screen and again using the silk screen to make a print onto a flat surface. Then we have tie dyeing. Tie dyeing is the art of twisting, folding, or tying fabrics before dyeing to create patterns. Then we have batik. Batik applying, which is the art of batik, right? Which is the art of applying wax. The art of applying wax-resistant material onto a fabric before dyeing to create intricate patterns. So if you apply wax resistant material onto a fabric before dyeing in order to create intricate patterns, that is what we call batik. They have chain stitch embroidery, that using looped stitches to create decorative lines on a fabric. We also have satin stitch, which is filling areas with smooth, tight stitches for solid color patches. We also have hand quilting, which is stitching decorative patterns by hand through fabric layers. Then we also have jacket weaving, which is an automated weaving, which is done by creating complex and woven patterns. Then we also have applique stitching, which is attaching fabric pieces onto a background using hand or machine stitching, which is often done with decorative edges. Then we have sequin attachment, which is sewing sequins individually or in strands for sparkling. Then we have textiles weaving techniques. Textiles weaving techniques. Now the question says, state and explain the weaving techniques you know in textiles. Techniques you know in textiles. Right? Now, when we have plain weaving, another name for plain weaving is what we call tabby weaving. It is weaving warp and weft threads alternatively over and under each other to form a fabric. And it is the most simplest weaving technique and the most basic weaving technique. That is the plain weaving, or what you call tabby weaving. Now look at how it is. You see that a single weft and warp thread has been woven alternatively. So let me make it weaving a single. So let me make it very simple. Weaving a single warp and weft threads alternatively over and under each other to form a fabric. So you can see this is a single warp thread, single. This is also another single weft thread, as you can see, and they have all been what? Woven alternatively over and under each other. Then we come to another one we call satin. Hey, I'm going too fast. Let me. Satin weave. It is a technique of weaving a fabric by floating weft threads over several warp threads before weaving it under to create a fabric. So you can see that when you look at it, the weft threads have been floated under two warp yarns, have been floated over two warp yarns, and that floated under two warp yarns, floated over two warp yarns before weaving under, then floated over two warp yarns before weaving under. So that is how the satin weave looks like. This is the kind of pattern that is created at the end of the day. So it is either two or more, it is floated over two or more weft and warp yarns before weaving under, in that order. That is a satin weave. Then you have another weaving technique we call twill weave. Twill weave is a technique of weaving weft and warp yarns to create a diagonal pattern fabric. So look at the design that has been created. It has created a diagonal pattern on the fabric. So this is the kind of design that you create. Then we have another technique we call basket weave. It's a technique of doubling both weft and warp yarns or threads to weave over and under each other. So you see that, look at this one. The warp yarns are 2 blue warp yarns, 2 blue. Then look at the weft yarns, 2 purple over and under, over and under. So we double the weft and warp yarns to weave over and under each other. Then we have another technique we call the herringbone weave, where you weave fabrics where 2 diagonal patterns from both ends converge to meet at a point to create zigzag woven pattern. Now, let's look at the design. Zigzag woven pattern. Let's look at the design now. Now you can see that 2 diagonal pattern, 2 diagonal lines from one from the left, the other from the right, are meeting at an apex. This one comes from the left, this one comes from the right, meeting at an apex. So at the end of the day, they create zigzag patterns on the fabric. That is how it is. Now, the next question says, identify some sources of fibers. Now, we have natural fibers and we have synthetic fibers. Now, let's take a look at the natural fibers. And let's focus on animal fibers first. We have stable fibers from horse, the horse tail, and then from the neck, the back of the neck of the horse, and maybe sometimes the on top of the head, there are some hairs over there. We can trim them off and trim the horse tail, and the kind of fiber they produce is what we call stable fibers. Then we have pigs. We have some pigs that are very hairy. The kind of fibers that they produce is what you call bristle. So stable for the horse, bristle for the pig, then wool for what? The sheep, and fur for rabbits, dogs, and even lions. Lions have fur on their skin, but the male lion, right? The hair on the face, I don't really know the name at the moment, but I'll make a research on that one. Then we have mohair for goats, right? Then we come to plant fibers, which are also natural fibers. We have cotton, we have jute fibers, we have flax, and then there's another one that I forgot. I forgot to add raffia. So these are some of the natural fibers. And the synthetic fibers, we have nylon, we have polyester, we have let me see, polyamide, we have aramid, we have rayon, we have acrylic fibers. So these are some of the fibers we have available. Then we come to the next question, which says, identify and name the part of a broadloom. Now, we have this bar you see there, we call it head ruler. Then we have this one we call the beater. And these are what we call heddles. These are heddles, and these are the heddle hooks for that matter. Then we have this is called the back beam. Then we have this is called the breast beam. Breast beam. Then we have the cloth roller over there. Then we have over here what you call treadles. That the treadles are what we step on to open the shed for us to be able to use our shuttle to pass through. So these are the most important parts that you need to learn at this very moment, right? Then I think that is that for now. The other parts I will not go much into that because they are above your level. Now, identify and draw 6 knotting techniques you know. You have the surgeon's knot, the some in some the Nigerian will say surgeon's knot. Look at how it is. Let's take a look at the surgeon's knot. You see, it's written surgeon's knot. This is how it is. You first of all use 2 strips of cords or ropes. Then you first of all twist. You make twists first, second, third, and fourth, and then you lift 2 ropes up, and then you make a single twist at the top. That is the surgeon's knot, for that matter. And when you finish, you pull it from the 2 sides to form a tight knot. This is how we do the surgeon's knot. Then you have square knot, or what you call the reef knot. This is how it is. Square knots. One, this the two strips of ropes, right? One goes under, then this one too also goes under, and then you pull it up. You pull the 2 from you pull from both ends to form a tight knot. So you can try it and say you take two ropes, you make a loop. After making a loop, you pull one of the rope under, pass through the back, and pull it in, and push it through the loop, and then you pull it from both ends, and then you see that you form a very fine knot, or what you call square knot or reef knot. Yeah, look at this one. We call this one overhand knot. Overhand knot, as for that one, you try to make a loop, fold, try to make a loop, then fold one this way, the other one that way, and then you pull it to make a firm knot. That is it. Then you have clove hitch knot. That one, when you have any round or cylindrical objects, and then you try to make this kind of knots around it. That is what you are seeing. This is how it looks like. In fact, I don't know how to do this one, but right. So, but just look at how the design looks like. So, in case maybe they ask you in exams, this is how you are going to draw it, for that matter. Then you have the sheet bend knot. This is the sheet bend knot. You use one rope, you create a loop first, and then use another one. You pass through the back, and then push only one of the ends through the loop, and then you press or you pull from both ends to knot very well. And then look at what we have here. You have bowling or bowline knots. Look at how it is. You use one of the I think there are two different one rope. You first of all create a loop, then create a bigger loop, then you pass it through the first loop, take it through the back, and then push it in again, and then you pull from both ends to form knots, right? Now, the next question says, identify and explain 6 Ghanaian fabrics you know and draw them. Now, look at this one. Maybe you may not be you will not be asked to draw, but look at how the pattern look like. Maybe in case they bring this kind of picture and they ask you what is the name of this fabric and or what does it mean? The Ahwinipa Kasa literally means good beads don't talk. Ahwinipa in Kasa. Ahwinipa in Kasa. This means that one's good deeds or actions will speak for him or her effortlessly. And this is how the Ahwinipa Kasa fabric looks like. This is how it is, right? You can see some, it's like a tree with this design looks like a fan, and you have the beads. You see, look at the beads on the plant. Look at the beads on the plant. So the beads are on the plant, and the beads don't talk. You see, that is what it means. Ahwinipa inkasa. So that is how the fabric looks like, right? Right. In fact, this is not the only color we have available. We may have them in different colors, but I brought this kind of color for you to see it clearly. Then we have Sika wo Ntaban, which really literally means money has wings. And this is trying to tell us that one can lose money at any point in time. So we should learn how to hold and manage money wisely, else it won't be available tomorrow. So money has wings, and you can see lines. You can see some oval shape with a dove, flying dove in the oval shape or circles. So that this is the meaning how the Sika Wantaban fabric looks like. Then we come to another one. So anytime you have money, please learn how to use money wisely. Otherwise, your money will get finished, and you need to look. You need to find another money again. Then this is a fabric we call Dia Nyami Ayamami. It literally means what God has done for me. And this cloth is worn to acknowledge the goodness of God in our lives. Dia Nyami Ayamami. This is how the fabric looks like. You see. You can even see the name on the fabric there, Nyami Aye Amami. That is it, right? It has these patterns. Please look at it carefully. Then we have another one we call Anase Intuntan, but in another literal translation, in another dialect, we will say an Anase Intintan. Some people will say Anase Intuntan, and others will say Anase Intintan. I am again, I don't know which of the account tradition uses the name uses the Intuntan, but the majority will say Intintan, and it literally means spider's web. And this spider's web This fabric symbolizes wisdom, creativity, and complexity of life, because in the olden days, they attributed wisdom to the spider because they've observed various ways of spiders, and they've seen that spiders are very wise. They weave beautiful webs and therefore they are very creative. We can also have fishing spiders. We have diving spiders. We have so many spiders. It means we have some spiders that pretend as if they are ants, and they will enter into an ant hill and try to kill the baby ants or the ants in the that are yet to hatch. That is what they do. They form their shape into they try to mimic the ant shape, and the ants are food. But at night, when once the rest are asleep or they are busily elsewhere, then they will start eating the ants' eggs day in and day out. So all these things are done with the use of wisdom and creativity. And this club, as I said, also stands for the complexity of life. Then we have another plot we call Obapa. Obapa, which literally means good woman. This means acknowledging the good virtues of a woman. Right? So you can buy this thing for your wife or for your mother. If your mother is a very good woman, your wife is a very good woman, you can buy this cloth for her, for that matter. Then we have another one we call a bank kaban, which literally means handcuff. It means all is not well, else I won't be in handcuffs. So this kind of cloth is telling us something. Whenever you wear this cloth, you want to visit somebody, you want to make an appeal from somebody, you can go and visit that person with this kind of fabric. Whenever the person sees the fabric, that person will know that everything is not well with this kind of person. Maybe the person needs financial assistance, or in other words, the person is either financially handicapped or handicapped somewhere. So this is the kind of cloth that we normally we wear to make an appeal from somebody of a higher authority. Now, we also have this question that says, draw and explain 10 Adinkra symbols you know. Now, we have so many of them, right? Let me speak out. Let me, first of all, this one is also what you call Sankofa. Apart from this design, we also have another one in the shape of a bird or a swan trying to pick an egg at its back, right? That this symbol means Sankofa. Sankofa. It is always good. It means that it is always good to learn from our mistakes, or it is not a taboo to what? Go back to what? To learn from your past. Then we have this one. The moon and the star, or what you call Oshrani in Suruma, is a symbol of faithfulness. Yeah, this is what you call Edinkrahini. It's a symbol of royalty, right? Symbol of royalty. In fact, just take a look at this. We just speak about it, about their symbolism. Whenever you see this symbol, it means think ahead. This one is a symbol of welcome. This one is a symbol of good living. This is a symbol of wisdom and knowledge. This is symbol of congratulation, a symbol of strength. This is a ram's horn, right? Two ram's horn looking at each other. So it's a symbol of strength, right? In fact, I can't, because of time, just look at the symbolisms, and let's box on in the 2026 video. I will be diving deeper into much of these, right? So as time goes on, I keep on adding more and more. Now, the next video that we will be the next video, the next topic that we'll be discussing will be on graphic design. So we like to end this session at the moment. I know I send the video part by part so that each topic, when we take textiles, we treat it as a separate video. We go to graphic design, we deal with it as a separate video. We come to a picture making, we deal with it as a video in that order until